Good morning. I'm Jenny Heyman. I am seated this morning in the ladies' parlor by myself at the Executive Mansion, and I welcome all of you to our meeting today. Before we get started, I do want to remind everyone that the Executive Mansion Fine Arts Committee, as well as the Executive Mansion Fund, are public meetings in the state of North Carolina, and as such, we are being live streamed on YouTube. So I wanted to make sure that everyone realized that and knew that before we got started and we got into our agenda. So with that being said, I call our meeting to order on Tuesday, September 29th at 10 a.m. and welcome all of you all. As everyone else wishes, I too wish that we could all be together here at the mansion to be greeted warmly by the First Lady and by David Robinson and by everyone else who works here. That is always such a pleasure for us to be in the people's house. But unfortunately, it's not meant to be right now, and we have to stay safe, and so we are meeting via Zoom. So I appreciate the department taking care of the technology of this for me, because I've learned it's really hard to chair a meeting and worry about the technology at the same time. So I appreciate the assistance from the department. Thank you, Secretary Hamilton. So before we get into our agenda, and I hope we're going to have an interesting meeting for all of you all today, we do want to hear some remarks from our First Lady, Kristen Cooper. And before she speaks, I just want to thank her and thank the governor for their leadership during these really difficult times. We just appreciate so much what they're both doing to keep North Carolina safe, and we are so fortunate to have them at the helm. So thank you, First Lady, and I will turn it over to you for a few remarks.
First of all, welcome. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate all of you doing this and being here. I am coming to you from our personal residence, which, 360 tour. There's Greg. Hey, Greg. Grand Park. And here we are back here. That's the tour of that. That's how long it takes to do a tour of my house. Anyway, there could be more. But yeah, we've missed having tours and having people over. We ran into some, as I was leaving the gate, I ran into some people who were saying, we'd really love to come inside. And I'm like, yeah, you and a bunch of other people, but that's not happening. We're adapting. I'm over here today. We finally, since we had been using trustee labor, we finally gone to having a private cleaning crew come in once a week and keep the mansion from getting too terrible. We were getting, I was getting worried about rats the size of raccoons that were down in the basement. So we're finally getting a crew to come in once a week. So it's not the same level we were before, but everybody's making sacrifices and we're no different. So we're doing all of that. I know that we had a couple of moisture issues that we've had repaired downstairs. We finally found the source of that and patched that, and there's some repainting going on on the ceiling in the library and on the walls there, and in the bedroom where Governor Fowle's bed just is above that. So we are those repairs done. I know the ZR has been shooting some videos for virtual tours, and we're trying to get things a little spruced up for that. The garden has been sort of at a even keel. Right now we're looking right now about there not having the Halloween that we usually have with all of the hordes of people coming in, and doing a scaled down or a different Christmas, instead of having the open houses inside, spending a lot of time decorating inside, moving that energy to the outside of the house and having the trees lit and things in the yard so that people can drive around and still, have somewhat of feel like they're not missing that experience. They can see it from their cars. And so that's pretty much what's been going on. If anybody has questions,
would anybody like to ask a question?
Pretty much from my end.
First Lady? Any questions? All right. Well, we thank you for everything that you are doing. And one of these days, I know you look forward to welcoming school children and citizens of North Carolina and our committee back to the governor's mansion. And it will be wonderful. And not that we ever take it for granted, but we really will not take it for granted going forward. So thank you. Thank you. Before we hear remarks from Secretary Hamilton, I think we probably should call the roll. And Jennifer Fontes, can you do that for us?
Sure. I'll just go alphabetically and help get everybody.
Great. That way everybody can also say, they can unmute themselves and they can wave or say hello, and we can at least see everybody.
All right. All right. Nathan.
Hello, present. Hello.
Vicky.
Vicky Austin.
There she is. I see.
You see Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Nancy.
Audio here.
Yep. Hi, Nancy.
All right. Jimmy.
Here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Jimmy. Joe, are you there? Joe Cressmore?
Good morning, Joe.
Julia?
Yes, I'm here.
Great.
Sesha?
Hi, I'm here.
Good morning, Sasha.
Good morning.
Linda?
Hi, how's everybody?
Good morning, Linda.
Hey.
Blucher?
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning, Blucher.
Ellen Freeze was going to try. Okay. Let's see. Sabrina?
Here.
Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Samantha?
Here.
Okay. Patrice?
Good morning from Greensboro.
Good morning, Patrice.
Okay. Jean?
Here. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jean.
Tom?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Tom.
Kamal?
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Kamal.
Kimberly?
Okay.
No, okay. Florence? Okay. Joy?
I'm here.
Good morning, Joy.
Good morning.
Shelley? Louise?
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Louise.
Hi.
Martha? Okay. And ex officio, Secretary Hamilton? Then
Present.
Michael?
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Michael.
And Jim?
Good morning.
Good
Okay.
morning, Jim.
Good morning.
And then I know we had a few guests expected. Stacy, I saw you. Greg was there.
Yeah, David Robinson.
David Robinson, are you there?
You'll be joining us.
Okay. And Kevin, are you on? No.
Yes.
Okay. Have we missed anybody? I don't think we have. All right.
Jenny, I'll have to leave the meeting at 11, just so you'll know.
Sure, and we may very well be finished at 11. I've noticed that every Zoom meeting that I have goes pretty quickly.
Okay.
Because there's not much chit chat and et cetera. So,
Okay.
so whenever anybody needs to leave, please do so. We just really appreciate everybody's attendance this morning. So I am going to turn it over to our Secretary of Natural and Cultural Resources, Secretary Hamilton.
Thank you, Chairman Heyman, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mrs. Cooper. I think these Zoom meetings end early because everybody gets sick of looking at themselves in the mirror, so to speak. But I just want to take a few minutes to thank you for everything you do for the state of North Carolina and this very precious and important resource that we get to take care of for a few more years, hopefully, the People's House of North Carolina. On a more personal note, I'd like to add that it has been truly fascinating, fun, if you will, to watch Governor Cooper and this administration navigate this unprecedented, unexpected, and unbelievable pandemic and public health crisis that we are experiencing. Let me assure you, there is absolutely no roadmap on how to do this. All decisions are decisions that have to be made where there's truly not a good solution, no matter how you move forward. But Governor Cooper and his team at DHHS, DPS, and others, they do continue to move us forward. And the first virtual cabinet meeting we had in March, shortly after Governor Cooper closed the schools, he said something that I will never forget. He said that out of every crisis comes something positive and something good. And as North Carolinians, we know that that is possible. And we know that he is committed to making sure that something good comes out of this. And we think that most likely that good will be the improvement of internet and broadband access to all corners of the state of North Carolina, which will be important in maintaining our public health, will also be important in educating our children in this state and providing services for those students who were not able before to have access to the internet. This is something that the governor has trusted DNCR, Hometown Strong, DIT, DPI, and other partnerships like NCBCE in getting this money out, spreading it across the state so that we can see all children, all students, and all people in North Carolina connected. So with that, I will say that those connections have made it possible for us to be together today, even though we're not able to be together in person. And I can't wait until I can walk back through those front doors and greet you, Jenny, and greet the First Lady and the Governor and the entire committee. Hopefully, by the time we have our next meeting, we may be able to do that in person. And I certainly miss the lunch. So
Absolutely.
the most important of all. So with that, Madam Chairman, I will turn it back over to you and thank you.
Secretary Hamilton, we are fortunate to have you as well. So the governor has a great team in place and we're in good hands. So we cannot thank you enough. So things look great around here. I don't think the House is as happy as it usually is with school children and the place full, but we will return to that one of these days. So thank you so much. All right. We are going to approve the minutes from October 22nd. Wow, that was a year ago. Seems like longer ago than that. You were given the minutes in an email from Jennifer Fontes. So unless I hear any additions or any corrections to those minutes, they will stand approved as emailed to you. All right, hearing none, they will stand approved. Okay, we are then going to move to the treasurer's report. Mr. Hubler.
Morning. The report that you all received this week, the Fine Arts Committee, there was no activity since October. We still have a balance of $23,897.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
All right.
You want me? Okay.
I'm going to wait, and when we have the fund, which is
okay,
more, you will have a lot more to say at that point. So
yes, ma'am.
We will wait until then. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So no activity since October. That's pretty easy. Thank you, Mr. Hubler. All right. We're always glad to have our Deputy Secretary, Stacy Meyer, with us. So Stacy, I will turn this over to you. Thank you.
Just a little brief update. Thank you all. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, First Lady, and for all that everyone's doing. I appreciate so much. It's been a very, very interesting 6 months. Just a quick report from the department to let you know what we've been doing. As most of you know, most of our sites and our museums were closed for a period of time, and we were able to quickly pivot to all online versions of what we've been doing. So we've turned our visitation to our sites and our museums and our aquariums into virtual tours. In a matter of a couple of weeks' time, our marketing and education team, we developed something called NC Learn at Home. And it has been an amazing response to that, to reach out to those families in North Carolina and bring all of our resources to them online. So we're excited about being able to do that. So we really are amazed at how well it has gone and how quickly we could turn that around. I am out of town right now, but on Saturday night, as I was driving, I was able to hear the first and see the first. Although I didn't look at the camera while I was driving, I was able to see the symphony do their premiere online, their virtual online concert for their subscription series. And it was just beautiful. So it sounded beautiful. It looked beautiful. And I mean, I was truly amazed that they pulled that together and how much I enjoyed it. And I think that, when we're talking about good things that come out of this, we've seen a lot of opportunities for us as a department to turn some of our visitation into virtual, which the symphony, I hope, will have a digital subscription going forward. And I think we've been doing many things have been digital that may continue because we've had great success. As Jenny said earlier, we're filming the mansion for virtual field trips, so we can take the virtual field trips to our school children. So we're excited about all those opportunities. We've also been working very closely with the DPI and DIT on broadband, and the department our state library has been the purchasing agent for hotspots for kids across North Carolina who don't have service. So we, in the last, just a little under a month, Governor Cooper dedicated $40 million to that effort. And so we have been deploying hotspots across North Carolina. And I think that out of the $20 million that we've been able to get out there for those hotspots, we've spent about 16, and we've deployed close to 50,000 devices for kids who don't have cellular service or internet. So they're able to do their homework and take advantage of all these digital opportunities that they couldn't otherwise do. We're also equipping 87 of our state historic sites, our aquariums, museums, libraries with what we're calling Park and Learn. So we're turning our parking lots into free digital or free Wi-Fi, so families can go and download homework and do work in the parking lot if necessary. So it's been a hectic 4 weeks, but it's just been amazing to watch how this has all happened, and just the quick success. So thanks to the governor and his staff and to the other state agencies who have partnered with us, we feel really good about that.
Stacy, pardon my interruption. Did you happen to mention how many spots have been deployed so far?
I think we've deployed close to 50,000.
Wow.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
well, I'm going to brag on my staff for just a second. Stacy and her team did this, and the team includes, cross collaboration with other agencies, obviously, but they did this in less than 4 weeks. And it's a $16 million plus project in 3.5 weeks in state government. I was pretty impressed. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions for Stacy or for the secretary? Okay.
I wanted to add that we have been some of these historical sites have been, and Caitlin Grimes has been instrumental in setting up social media takeovers of my page. We've had some of our historic and cultural sites who've taken over my social media for the day, and we've tried to highlight some of those people. And we're going to have more of those coming, because now people are starting to ask us if they can do it. So we're happy to give them a forum to get out there. We've had the zoo, we've had several historic sites. Charlotte Hawkins Brown. Greg's telling me out. It's hard for me to remember. If I start listing them all, I'm going to forget somebody and they'll be insulted. But that's something that we want, that we're involved in for going forward with this. So just wanted that. So thank you guys who were helping with that.
Yes, Madam Chairman, may I jump in again?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Cooper, I should have mentioned that earlier, and I chuckled because I had to go look up what a takeover is when you started doing these several weeks ago. So I don't want to call anyone out, but would Craig maybe, or you mind just real quick explaining what exactly happens? Because I think you're doing it with the Museum of Art this week.
We are. What happens is we just they have our I guess they get our passwords, and we kind of give them a temporary day password. They become the moderator. So for they post on my Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter, not my Facebook and Instagram, and they will give private tours. The zoo did lots of things with their animals. They interact with the public, but they'll spend all day highlighting. Sometimes it'll be a whole area of museums in a certain area. So it's not. They usually will do it in a Facebook Live where they'll give people a tour live on. They'll give people a live tour, but for the day, the office of the First Lady becomes the museum or the zoo. So that's what a takeover is.
Oh, gosh, it sounds dramatic. That's interesting. And I think it's so good because all of us are from all parts of North Carolina, for us to get this information, because we can certainly share it with folks who ask us about, what's going on with the mansion, what's going on in state government. This gives us some good information that we can pass on. And I think certainly the big takeaway is you all have pivoted and worked quickly but efficiently, and just gotten so many things done that this time a year ago we had no idea that we would be doing, but you've done it. So it's great. All right. Thank you all. This is very, very interesting. I want to turn it over to Michael Osmond, our curator, who also has been working very hard with all of the hats that he wears. And he is filming this, Zooming this morning from the Museum of History. Michael.
Good morning, everyone. I have a few objects to talk about, some really important objects to talk about today that will be in the Executive Mansion collection. One of the objects you will get to see the next time you go into the ladies' parlor. There is a chair that was donated, a 19th century side chair that fits the period of the room and the other furnishings.
You want me to move my laptop around so they can see it?
Sure, yeah.
I can do that without dropping it.
And this is a 19th century chair. There you go. Really, really lovely chair that was donated by Stuart Woodard. And so we really, really thank him for that. Really nice chair. Also, I think we've seen this in the past, but we will definitely see it the next time we're at the mansion, and definitely for the holiday. Are 24 placemats, really fine linen and gold trim placemats that was given by Diane Davidian. Also, we had the silver trumpet vase that Jenny just showed a minute ago. If you can flip it around again, this is a monumental trumpet vase that's absolutely beautiful for the ladies' parlor. So that is something that we've required. And really, Jenny's really been looking for that, and Jenny facilitated this. So thank you, Jenny, for coming up with this. It has a lot of uses. Also, I purchased a print of the Carolina Parakeet, and I will show that to you in just a minute. It's behind me here, but I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Carolina Parakeet. The Carolina Parakeet was native to North Carolina. Sir Walter Raleigh mentioned the Carolina Parakeet. Also, John Smith talked about the Carolina Parakeet here in North Carolina. William Byrd commented when he was doing the boundary line between North Carolina and Virginia of how many birds there were. There was also reports that when the Carolina Parakeet took flight, that it almost darkened the skies. There were so many. So they've had a long history in North Carolina. I believe it was 1939 when there were 3 parakeets spotted that were left remaining, and they were in Georgia. So now they're completely extinct. But I was really glad to get this print. Everybody's probably familiar with the James Audubon print. Unfortunately, unless a miracle happens, we will probably never have one of those. One came up for auction last year, and the opening bid was $350,000. Reproductions of the James Audubon print can also start in the 2-figure and also 3-figure sum. This print is by John Ruthven. It was a limited edition of 500, and this is number 482. And let me take this over here so you can get a closer look at it. It's on heavy linen paper. It's in a nice gold and black frame. Also, the pier resistance is this table here. Sorry for my camera. I don't know if you can see the scalloped skirt and the reeded leg at the top. This is a circa 1750 to 1775 table.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic table. It is walnut. This table was made in Edenton, North Carolina. This table was also vetted by the late John Bivens of his famous book, The Furniture of Coastal North Carolina. Some of you are familiar with. This book now is going for $500 or more as a reference book. So even this book is a collector's item.
Yeah.
But on page 168, you will see, at this page here, you will see this, let me get my hands on the right page here. You'll see this table pictured here, and you will also see it pictured down here. So that is the table behind us. Some of the characteristics that let you know this is the Edenton-made table. It has a center support brace underneath. And usually for Southern furniture, you'll find a yellow pine secondary wood. But this one has red oak. And also you'll find the reeding at the top of the leg where it joins the base of the table. And those are 3 characteristics that definitely point it to an Edenton maker's cabinet shop. These tables are really rare and really hard to come by. Great provenance, documented by Mesda and by John Bivens two of the leaders of Southern furniture in America. And these things just don't survive. Even the pad feet on this table are all there. And a lot of times you will see the pad feet that are broken up or chipped. And the reason for that is this was a dining table. And the reason for that is at this time period, there really weren't in North Carolina at this time period, and actually out throughout America, there really weren't specific rooms set aside for dining that we know of today. That really came about in the later part of the 18th century. So different rooms would have used multiple purposes. They could have been bed chambers, they could have been living quarters, and they could also have been used for dining. And so a lot of the furniture was made so it could fold down like this dining table. So you could bring it out to the center of the room, put the leaves up, and have your dinner. Then you could take it after dinner, fold the leaves down, push it to the side of the room, and you could serve your tea or you could have refreshments on it. So that way you could have the space in the room for other activities. You could do housework, weaving, spinning, sewing, or dancing. So throughout moving the table in and out from the center of the room and around the room, a lot of the feet got chipped up. And this table has all its feet intact. It has its original hinges, its original finish. It doesn't get much better than this. And this was something we acquired just a little while ago. And I will let Jenny tell you a little bit more about this table.
To say we are excited about this table is an absolute understatement. We have been looking for notable North Carolina pieces to add to our mansion collection for a long time. These things don't just appear. We've been working on this specific table for probably over a year. And it is an absolute treasure. I cannot wait for you all to see it. The patina is absolutely beautiful. It is just going to give us something very interesting for our docents to talk about when we have groups here, especially for school children. It is just a treasure. I wish I could come up with another accolade to say, but this is exactly what we have wanted to do for the mansion, to have notable North Carolina pieces as part of our collection. And folks, this is it. So we are just beyond thrilled with this. The First Lady is excited, and the department, and Michael and I are, and it's just been so much fun. So what we're going to do is we are going to vote to accept these pieces, the silver vase, and I want to tell you a little bit more about it in a minute, the silver vase, the beautiful placemats and coasters that Diane and Vartan Davidian have given to us at the mansion, the picture, the Carolina Parakeet picture, and then of course the showpiece, the table. And we're going to vote on that, but I want to tell you a few more things before we do that. The vase is given by the Raleigh Fine Arts Society. The Raleigh Fine Arts Society, as you know, provides about half of the docents for the mansion, and has been doing so since Mrs. Moore asked them to become involved back in the middle 1960s. So they wanted to do something that we needed and wanted, and we just think this, I'll show it to you again. We just think this, can y'all see it? We just think this vase is fabulous. It is sterling silver. It is American. It is Edwardian, made in New York City. It has beautiful piercings and engraving on it, and it's fabulous. And it gives us something in the center of the room of the ladies' parlor that we can put fresh flowers in. We can decorate seasonally. It gives us a beautiful focal point to the room, and is on top of the table that Tom Keenan has gave us in the past. So it's gorgeous. And there again, I can't wait for you to see it. But what I want to especially tell you, and this is going to be a big surprise, about this table is, since we have been looking for this for a long time, and this is really the first big acquisition that we have made in a long time, and I've been on this committee since about 2001. So this is a huge deal. Is that we, the committee, with a very generous lead gift from our committee member, our fund committee member, Joe Cressmore, that we are giving this beautiful Eatonton table in honor of Tom Keenan. And there is no one that means more to this committee than Tom. And I love the story that he told me one time about back in 1965 when Mrs. Moore founded the committee. Tom's father, Mr. Keenan, said to him, "Tom, you get over there and you be on this committee and you help out the governor and Mrs. Moore and Mary Siemens. You get over there and do that." And thank goodness Tom paid attention. He has been the heart and soul of this from the very beginning. And there is no one who is more fitting for us to honor in this way. The department and the First Lady and the governor join in the appreciation of Tom. And Tom, we're not doing this because we think you're going to retire. In fact, far from it. We're gonna take lots of pictures in front of this the next time we meet here with you, and I can't wait for you to see it. So this does not mean anything like we want you to retire whatsoever. And Joe, if you'd like to say something really quickly, and then I'm going to ask Tom if you'd like to say something. Joe Cressmore.
Well, I'd just like to say that I am so happy to be part of this tribute to Tom. It's long overdue, long overdue. And I know that Jenny and Michael have been looking long and hard to find an appropriate and suitable and good tribute to Tom. And what I like about this in particular is that I'm sure it's going to be an important part of our docent presentation to the groups that come in. And at that time, as long as I'm still there, we will mention Tom and what he has contributed to the mansion, which is just so vast, I can't even start to cite it all. It's just vast. And Tom, I mean, we just have such an appreciation for you. And the Coopers and Jenny and all of us just wanted to honor you in some way. And we hope that you can see how much we appreciate all you've done for the mansion. It has just been overwhelming. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you,
Tom,
Joe.
I know I've put you on the spot, but if you would like to say something,
Yes, ma'am.
yours.
Well, I'm embarrassed and deeply honored and never expected this. Didn't expect anything. You know, I'm getting so old now. I can remember that first meeting with Mrs. Moore and the governor and Mary Siemens, and I was pretty young then, and I'm pretty old now.
No.
I think Mrs. Moore, I think she had a wonderful idea, and thank heavens it's been just, you know, I think I have worked with, I can't remember now. I think 8 governors, and I told Governor Cooper when he was kind enough to come to my, I think, 80th birthday party, I said, I always said that I would retire when we had a governor that I really loved and I felt was just doing a wonderful job. And I think that you might be that governor, that I would have my swan song. And of course, the First Lady is just, I love her. She's just been wonderful. I'm overcome. I wish you hadn't have done this. I mean, to be perfect.
That's why we did not tell you.
It's too much. I feel like I should do more for the Fine Arts Committee, but I just appreciate all the members through the years that have worked on it and have really developed a love for this house. Because it's something that that the docents in particular and the First Ladies next, and then the committee have broadcasted to the state, and to bring young people into here to see that this is the people's house, the North Carolina house, that belongs to all of us, and the first family are the stewards of it when they live here. And we've had wonderful staff. I think that David and Michael, James, and well, I'm just overcome. And First Lady, I hope you'll tell the governor that I'm speechless. And I had told him that I said, you're my favorite, and so this is a good time for me to say farewell. But now I'm embarrassed that I don't think I can do it quite yet. But you might have to wheel me in. And Jenny, you've been wonderful. You have been a delightful chairman. I've just loved working with you, and you know that. We just, I'm sorry we just can't hold hands and be together today, but we will. That day will come, I hope. But thank you from the bottom of my heart, every one of them. And now I'm going to have to get with Michael and find another treasure, and I'm going to have to do something in honor of you all and not tell you all something. So thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And Tom, this is the part of the meeting where if we were all together.
Pass it on.
I don't want to interrupt somebody else that was speaking.
Oh, I was just going to pass on your kind words. I'll pass those on to Roy. Tom, thanks. We appreciate you a lot. And you don't ever get.
Thank you.
No, he doesn't. Thank you, First Lady. He doesn't.
No.
And this is the part of the meeting, Tom, where we all stand up and we applaud, and you get everybody else, and we will do that next time, I hope. But this table is absolutely exquisite, and we just are so excited to be able to do this. So, Michael, do you have anything else to add before I ask for a vote?
No, I have one comment.
Okay.
I would like to thank Jo. I really appreciate her support. And I would definitely, Tom, I thank you so much for your support. We wouldn't have the standard we have if it wasn't for you and Mary Siemens and Janella, First Lady Janella. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for all your service. And I felt like this was a fitting tribute to you from the state of North Carolina and from one of our first capitals of the state too, Edenton.
That's right.
The last comment is that the silver vase, the table, the chair, and the print will be in the permanent collection, but the...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, for your safety and the safety of all visitors and museum.
Sorry about this announcement.
We remind you to stay 6 feet apart during your visit to the museum, and please do not forget to wear your face covering. Thank you and enjoy your visit here at the North Carolina Museum of History.
So now y'all got to learn to hear the message we hear off and on. But yeah, the silver vase, the table, the print, and the chair will be in the permanent collection. But the placemats will not be considered part of the permanent collection.
That's
they will stay in the collection.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that. And so if you all know any Raleigh Fine Arts Society members or know Dr. and Mrs. Davidian, I know that you will thank them, and Stuart Woodard for the chair, and then of course Jo for the wonderful donation.
Are there any questions from me about any of the items?
I'll just make a comment about the drop leaf table. My grandmother had a drop leaf table exactly like that. And when she was about to die, she gave it to my mother. And I grew up with that drop leaf table. It was in our dining room, but it was just a small area, and the big table was took up the space. But the great thing about it was when Mother and Daddy had a big event, we would be put at that drop leaf table, all the children. And it is a gorgeous piece, but it gives me chills to think about how much fun it was to sit at it. and talk to your friends and eat.
There's nothing more versatile than a drop leaf table. You're exactly right. Thank you, Florence. All right, I will entertain a motion that we enter into the permanent collection of the Executive Mansion, the vase, the chair, the print, and of course, the fabulous Edenton table. If someone would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
All right, that's Joy. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. And remember, folks, this is the Executive Mansion Fine Arts Committee that can vote. So let's see. I think Patrice, you can make a second. Joy?
I'm on Mansion Fund.
Right. So I need two from the committee. Vicky, great, thank you. And a second?
I can second it.
Okay, Kamal, thank you. All right. Any other questions? Any other discussion before you vote? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, raise your hand and please say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries. All right, thank you. Okay.
Sorry about that. I was just so excited.
Oh, I know, it is exciting. I realize that, and I should have said that. That's my job.
That's okay.
So, I should have said that. That is always a little confusing. So anyway, before we conclude this meeting, is there any old business to come before the Fine Arts Committee meeting or any new business? Okay, if not, we will adjourn the Executive Mansion Fine Arts Committee, and I will call order the Mansion Committee. So we have been as well from October 22nd that were distributed to us via email from Jennifer. Unless I hear any additions or any corrections to those minutes, then those minutes will stand approved as distributed. All right, they will stand approved. Okay, treasurer report, which will be a little more lengthy than the first go round. Mr. Hubler.
Okay, good morning again. In the report that you received, we began with a balance back in October of $1,004,115. We had revenues of $57,600, which included gains on investments of $25,500 and contributions totaling almost $32,000. Let's see, the expenditures we had of $41,000 included mansion projects of $25,000, which included the purchase of the table, a payment to Campbell Road Nurseries, and a payment to Stuart Woodard. So that leaves us a current balance of $1,431,000. And you see the funds on deposit and the breakdown that makes up that $1,431,000. Any questions?
Which Mr. Ehringhaus and I are on, along with Mr. Hubler, and we had a meeting with our advisors back in August. So, Mr. Ehringhaus, if you would like to talk about that a little bit in tandem with Mr. Hubler, that'd be great.
Certainly, thank you so much. We have kept in close contact with Wells Fargo, our investment manager. We received regular updates from them on a monthly basis, and Jim has done a marvelous job of tracking our balances, expenditures, and also additions. This obviously has been a very challenging year from an investment standpoint. When we met with Wells via Zoom last month, we were essentially flat for the year to date through the early portion of August, which is to be expected. I dare say I have not seen the August 30 statement just yet, but I feel we've probably advanced a little bit since that time. Being anywhere close to flat in this environment, I think would be desirable, certainly from the standpoint of relative returns. It's been a challenging year for equities. It's been a bang-up year for bonds. Obviously, when interest rates are, as they have been, artificially kept low by the Federal Reserve's intervention, this has a positive effect on the price of bonds. So we in essence, although no one really would tell you to load up on bonds at this point, bonds have done exactly what Wells Fargo intended them to do, and that is give us an anchor in a storm and let the equities run their course. We have several major macro factors at play here in terms of the stock market. Obviously, trade with China is a huge area of concern on the part of the market. The pandemic is a tremendous concern, and the potential for additional cases such as they're experiencing in Europe, and certainly the political environment. I'd say one word that we discussed a fair amount in our meeting with Wells Fargo. The markets really are agnostic with regard to which administration, which party is in control. And I read a long analyst report from Goldman Sachs last night that seemed to indicate it was their feeling that the market had pretty much priced in the election. So Wells counseled us, and I will counsel you, don't get worried about the stock market during election season. It all comes out in the wash. And we feel the way the portfolio is invested is a very accurate reflection of our risk tolerance, which is reasonably low. So the portfolio adequately reflects what we have told our manager to do, and it was our opinion, and mine especially, that they have done exactly what we've asked them to do in quite a difficult environment. So with that said, I'll be happy to respond to any questions and rely on my able compatriot, Jim.
Good morning, this is Louise.
Any questions?
Yes, I just have a question for Jim. Hi, Jim, it's Louise. Just with the mansion projects and that expense of $25,500, does that include some of the renovations that have been done that the First Lady was describing, or are those still to come in?
No, they do not include any of the renovations.
Okay. And will some of them come into us, or are some of them out of or coming from the state to pay for that?
I would think they would be paying, the state would be taking care of those.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
This is Stacy. I'm fairly certain the state is paying for those repairs that are going on in terms of the moisture and the painting and basic repair, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Louise. Any other questions?
Madam Chairman.
Yes.
I feel like the old recording, but hopefully, maybe we can get the mansion painted in the next 4 years. I'm just going to stretch it out there. The exterior, which I don't want to belabor that. Everyone knows about it. So let's just hope that that will happen, and that this committee, when the governor and the council of state allow us, can use whatever influence, friendship we have with anybody to please plead to get this done, because the exterior saves the interior. And if you'd have a weak exterior and a weak roof of a home, you're in trouble, and we don't want that to ever happen.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Keenan. We always need to be reminded of that. That's good.
Jenny, one more thing. Tom, so are you suggesting that we buy Sherwin-Williams stock and perhaps work out a quid pro quo?
Well, I think more than Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams has certainly been a wonderful stock, though, to own. I'll say that.
They cover the world.
Well, we need to cover the mansion. So Thank you all. Any further questions? Mr. Hubler, do you have anything to add?
Man, I'm done.
You're done. Mr. Ehrenhaus? We're glad to have, always glad to have your
Signing off.
expertise. Okay. And as I think I've said at several meetings, if anyone would like to join our endowment committee, we would love to have you. Just send me an email. All right, now, David Robinson has joined us. He had something he had to take care of a little bit earlier. And Mr. Robinson has done a great job of taking care of the mansion during this last 7 months, and he's in his office right now. So, David, I turn it over to you.
Welcome, everybody, from the 3rd floor of the mansion. How is everybody today?
We're just fine. Thank you.
Good. A few people have texted me and asked me why I don't have my camera activated. And it's simple. I do not have a tie on. I don't feel comfortable.
That's okay.
Now I notice hardly anybody else does, so that's okay. So listen, as you know, the mansion for several months now has been closed to the public. We did not have any spring tours of any kind. We haven't had any fall tours of any kind. They've all been canceled. We haven't had any events, whether they be state government events or our usual non-for-profits or local civic groups. We haven't had any trustees here since March. And in fact, our last event was in March. And yet, through all of this, the mansion chugs along quite nicely. We have adapted to what we need to do. And that's just how it is for now. One of the things that we're currently involved with is the library ceiling suffered some water damage earlier this year, and they are actually working on the bedroom above the mansion library right now, and they will the wall of that bedroom, the outer wall, had some water damage and the paint had flaked and fallen off. So the outside was fixed. The actual problem was fixed. So they are redoing the damage in the 2nd floor bedroom above the library. They will then move out of that bedroom and onto the wall on that mezzanine level at the top of the grand staircase. And then the last project will be the way down the stairs and then take care of the library ceiling. We'll do that last because we have to take all they have to take all the furniture out and erect scaffolding in the library. So we still have to take things into account, like the governor's schedule. He's doing lots of things here. And so we had to work around each other with that. But anyway, we're hoping that the mezzanine level and the 2nd floor will be finished by the end of this week, and then the library by the end of next week at the latest. And that's basically all of the work that is being done with issues that we have. But we're just keeping the mansion chugging along, and we do our regular preventative maintenance or facilities management do. They come along and stay distanced and keep their masks on, and that's about it. Right now, the steam plant is shut down, so the mansion is like an ice cooler inside. You could probably hang meat on the 2nd and the 3rd floors, and it'd be fine. But that should finish next week, and we'll be back to normal. But this is a very short report because not much has been happening between March and now, unless the First Lady or Greg can think of anything.
Any questions for David?
Well, there was that leak we found in the kitchen, Greg, remember? That we pinpointed that, the air conditioning thing. But anyway.
Oh,
that's
right. Now, what was that?
That's right. I forgot about that. There was water. This is a great example of state government at its finest. I will blow the First Lady's trumpet right here. So we had to get facilities management out because there was literally water pouring through the kitchen ceiling. And we had buckets and all sorts of things. And literally it was flooded. And so out they came. And prior to them coming over, the First Lady had walked in and asked what was going on. So she wanted to poke her head up. She went and and she said, "Oh, it's the," and to be honest, I cannot remember what it was exactly, but she said it's the such and such. That's the problem. Like, what was it, ma'am?
It was the air conditioner on the roof, that condenser.
So, that's what it was. So facilities management come out about 30 minutes after this. They go up into the ceiling, you know, and the flashlights and tools and lots of banging and crashing and grunting and scratching of heads. And at the end of then they got somebody else. They got a second person out, and the second person said, "Oh, it's the blah blah blah." And I said, "Oh, that's wonderful then. Thank you for confirming. The First Lady actually told me that about 40 minutes ago." And he said, "Well, why didn't you tell me at the beginning?" And I said, "Well, I just didn't want to ruin the surprise, you know."
That's hilarious.
That was it. All fixed. So
You know,
what
the
will
First
happen
Lady
next
is a
time,
wonderful
if I have air conditioning problems on any floor at the mansion, I might just say to the First Lady, "Could you poke your head in the ceiling before I get anybody else?"
It'll be her side job. Well, y'all are wonderful stewards of this house, and there's always something, I'm sure. So, David, your report may be short, but you've been doing a lot of work. I know that because I talk to you all the time. So thank you for keeping this place going. You've had to do a lot of work without much help. Other than the First Lady diagnosing our air conditioning problems, but thank you. Any questions for David?
Jeannie, I want to make a comment.
I will say that David and Greg have the house cleaning on the 3rd.
Wow.
They are like they're our house.
Thank you, Greg.
They're cleaning bathrooms and everything.
Well, Greg is always good at seeing something that needs to be done, and he just does it. So thank you, Greg. We always appreciate you. Thank you.
David, if you need any help from me in the library, moving anything or doing anything, just give me a holler.
Thank you. I will. I think the painters and facilities management are going to actually handle it, but I'll have you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. If you need
Thank
me,
you.
just let me
Thank you
know.
for the kind offer.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay. All right, David, anything else about the house you can think of?
No, that was it. Oh, I don't know whether you mentioned it earlier, Jenny. Just the small kind of sliver of damage to the nice carpet on the first floor that they're going to repair in October.
Right, we've got that scheduled there's a couple of little tiny places that someone might be able to catch a stiletto heel on and rip the rug. So this is a great time to get those places fixed. Yeah.
That's all I have.
Folks who worked on the beautiful pink rug in the ladies' parlor and did such a nice job. So, all right, anything else? Do we have any old business or any new business for the fund? I would like to say that before we adjourn, that we want to remember Dr. Carolyn Morrison, who was on the fund with us. And I thought this picture with Sabrina and Dr. Morrison and me in the mansion was appropriate to attach to the agenda. She loved the mansion. And as a lifelong educator, a teacher, a school principal, a Wake County Board commissioner, she especially wanted all the school children in North Carolina to be able to come here, to know that the house belongs to all of us. It is truly the people's house. And so the education piece was always very, very important to her. And I think, Michael, we ought to look for something else, perhaps to give in her memory. And that'll give us something else fun to look for, but I would like to be able to do that. And her husband, Fred Morrison, I spoke to him last week. He is doing fine, and we would love to have him come and attend one of our meetings and have lunch with us when we are back at the mansion. So, Sabrina, do you have anything you want to add? You were longtime friends of Dr. Morrison's. Maybe Sabrina has left, and that's okay. All right, I want to thank Greg Snyder from the department, who has set everything up for me today, did the lighting, made sure that the technology worked. That's always my big fear, is that something's going to go wrong, and it didn't, and I have him to thank for that. And First Lady, is there anything else you'd like to add before we adjourn? Nope. Well, we thank you for being such a wonderful, wonderful steward of the mansion. And we just all look forward to when we can be greeted by you in person here. So is there anything else anyone needs to add? We will probably have another short meeting before the end of the year. Reason being is that our statute for the Fine Arts Committee says that we need to meet a minimum of twice a year. So I think we will have another short meeting. So stay tuned for information about that from Jennifer, who takes care of all those good details for us. Thank you, Jennifer. So if I hear nothing else.
Jenny,
yes.
Let me just say that you are so photogenic that I must say that the lighting and everything, you just look lovely today, and we're proud of you as our chairman.
Tom,
Really
you just always say the right thing. Let me tell you, I will say I got a comment on my a text comment that I was sort of like Vanna White when I was showing some of the things. So I have to tell you all, I do have a connection to Vanna White. She was one of my college roommates, friends that she grew up with. So anyway, so that I got a big kick out of that. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay well. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance. And we, thanks to the leadership of our governor and our first lady, we will come out better on the other side of this. And we all look forward to those days. So until then, thank you so much. And our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Jenny.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.